Hi, Mark from Exile again, with Shipley the cat again, and some of you may have just seen, or possibly not, the video tasting I've just done of this wine, the Vigna Muriel White Rioja. That is over in another file on the White Rioja page, so we're not tasting that here, all part of the same panel tasting by decanter in the May edition of Spanish indigenous whites, and these two, along with the Godello, from Raul Perez, are the three top scorers, the 96 pointers in that. Not tasting the Muriel here, that's been done. We're going to have a look at what is really quite an unusual wine, which is a Palomino from Cadiz down in Andalusia, sort of getting on for down in that same Jerez area where Manzanilla, Fino Sherry, all the classic sherries come from. Made of the same grape, Palomino. And it's an unusual one because so much Palomino is used to make sherry. Not a lot of it is turned into standard still wine. This one is barrel fermented, so it's fermented and then aged in oak. Let's pour a bit into the glass. It's okay. So this is an unusual tasting. Normally, you will have got used to me telling you how wonderful a wine is, and it's quite clear that the decanter review of this wine waxes lyrical about it. Of the three 96 pointers, this is the one that is made to sound, I would say, the most attractive of the three of them. It is an esoteric wine. It is a wine for people who like this style, and I will explain that to you as we go. On the nose, you immediately get what it's about. This is a dry sherry thing, okay? This whole discussion really is about dry sherry. On the nose, you immediately begin to pick up that same sort of almondy smell. Now, this stuff is made differently to dry sherry. Dry sherry is made under floor. It's sealed in its own kind of casing when it's aging in barrel. This, on the other hand, is made in a much more oxidative style. Oxygen has got to this. But the effect on the nose, I think, is much the same. There's quite an austere bite, very strong smell of almonds to it. And you begin to think, just from smelling it, this is a bit like dry sherry. On the palate, I mean, it's got a lot of dry sherry written over it. It is very, very, very dry. I mean, voice has gone, saliva's gone crackers. It's a very, very acid wine. It's a very tart style. Where to go with this? I don't like it. You know, this tasting is as much a warning to you that this is the style of this wine. Now, there will be people who love this. I am not a dry sherry drinker. I am told by people who like dry sherry, people in the trade, I am something of a Philistine because I don't like it. There is nothing more classic in the world of wine than Fino Sherry or Manzanilla with olives or with whitebait. That classic combination. But for me, it is just too mouth-puckeringly dry. It's one of those kind of real Marmite things, I suppose, and I don't like the Marmite phrase. I'm personally quite indifferent to Marmite, but it is one of those things that really splits opinion. A bit like the whole petrol hit in Riesling, and particularly some Australian Riesling. Some people detest that. Some people absolutely love it. I am one of those people in Riesling who thinks that. It's the whole thing with really hot and spicy food. Some people absolutely love that and will love sitting in a curry house, absolutely sweating. Some people can't stand it. And it's the same with this, and it's the same with dry sherry, I think. That very, very dry, austere hit for some people is hugely attractive. I am not one of these people, and I find it very difficult to judge this wine as a result of it. So this tasting is really, as much as anything, to say, if you're not somebody that likes that extreme dryness in a wine and doesn't like dry sherry, be very careful about buying this. I'd love to sell it to you. I'd love you to buy it from us, but be a little bit careful with it. I mean, everything else that is said by decanter on it, it's difficult to disagree with. It has a salinity to it. It has a minerality. It has an iodine hit to it. There's all kinds of layers of this very complex. I think austerity is not the wrong word here. It is a really edgy, angular kind of wine. And it's true that the oak fermentation and the oak work on it has definitely softened it, has taken some of the edges off it. And it is beautifully complex, and it is much, much better with food. I had this with a bit of cheese a few minutes ago. Does soften it. For me, honestly, it spoiled the cheese. It's a slightly curious tasting, this one. But it does all the things that decanter says it does, that is for sure. I do think there will be a lot of people that don't like the particular style of it, and this tasting is to tell you that in the same way that I'm writing it elsewhere, to make sure you understand what you're buying. I don't think Decanter expresses quite enough just how stylised and how sherry-like this is as a wine. It hints at it, I don't think it states it clearly. I don't think I'm doing anything other than stating that extremely clearly to you. You may well like it. There's bits of it I like, but be a little warned about the style. I think I've done that. Thank you.